We have Bitcoin sitting at $63,800, and things are honestly lining up to be absolutely perfect. We have the perfect storm for crypto. We have the perfect storm for Bitcoin. We're seeing a whole lot of changes within these markets, not only within normal day-to-day price action, but also from a macro perspective. The big changes in policy, easy money coming into the markets, and this creates a wonderful environment for traders, especially those of you who know what you're doing. So smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel, and let's get straight into the show content over here. So starting off with Banter bubbles on the daily, everything holding up really nicely, strong moves across the board over there. The hourly, however, slight pullback in play right now as we currently look at the price action. We'll have a look at the 4-hour time frames. What I can tell you in a nutshell is most of the coins are moving towards the upside, right? Breaking structure on the 4 hours, higher highs, higher lows. Look at the 50 and the 200 EMA. You expect the 50 EMA to be trading above the 200 EMA, and pullbacks that come into that 50 EMA on your 4-hour time frame are going to present opportunities now in the short term as you witness the hourly pullback, right? That's going to probably lead to trend continuation on the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. Everything is looking good, and we definitely have turned a bit of a corner. And the reason why is this, right? This came out yesterday. I'm sure many of you already know this, but China announcing multiple rate cuts and bank reserve ratio requirements. This essentially means money printing, right? So we have the perfect storm. We have the halving, crypto ETFs, US rate cuts, and China firing up the money printing machine, bringing newfound liquidity into the market. And you can actually see it over here. Here's your People's Bank of China with another histogram uptick over there. So starting to see very slight signs of a shift over there. And then also looking at the major central banks, this is for the first time also starting to turn a corner. It's been essentially coming all the way down here for quite a long period of time. This is since December 2021. And only recently have all of the various different central banks around Europe started to turn towards the upside. You can see if you look on the top over here, this is the USD stablecoin supply also moving towards the upside, which overall is a good sign. So how long will it take for markets to catch on to this? Well, if you look at Raoul Paul's tweet over here, he says, remember that markets lag that global liquidity by around 10 weeks. So in just around 2 to 2.5 months, you would expect that crypto should be catching up, all markets should be catching up to that increase in liquidity. I think that's something noteworthy to have a look at over there. Very important, and we're seeing it on the exchange volume, which is now increasing towards the upside. But if I scale out and we look at all, we have seen this before where it spikes up and then gets slammed back down. This is where we had the big pumps in the market over the time period of March 2024. So we're looking for a more sustainable rally. If you can see this continue to trend towards the upside, that will be incredibly healthy for the markets, and you should expect higher prices. And that will all line up with the seasonality perspective, where we said, typically speaking, October, November, the best performing months. And if you look at it on a quarterly basis, Q4 is the best performing quarter for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So keep an eye out on that. Keep your eyes on the price as things start to move up. Everyone seems to think they should counter trade this, right? If you look at the DeFi investor, everyone is bullish, so we must go down, right? That's typically the sentiment, and this is good sentiment to have, but you need to be able to differentiate when you're in a trending move or if you're at the extremity. This is great advice, but only if you're at an extremity, right? Everyone is bullish at the extremes, so we must go down, or everyone is bearish at the extreme, so we must go down. But the answer is we're only at the start of a trend, because he says over here, in reality, the search traffic for crypto is down 80% from all-time highs. Pretty much retail doesn't really care about crypto right now, but imagine what happens when they start coming back, right? And they will start coming back very soon. We can actually look over here and we can prove, as per the YouTube views over here, that they're absolutely not back. This continues to trend down. We'll be monitoring this as each and every day passes to see for sustainable upticks and retail interest coming back into the market. And where will they come back? As always, they'll come back when we start to push into this greedy zone, which is probably where Bitcoin breaks back into all-time highs, and then we'll start to see a little bit of an alt season run. At least cyclically, this is where we'd expect in the next 3 months that alts will start to pick up and move aggressively. Right now, Fear and greed still in neutral territory, pushing back to 59, really fast approaching that greed zone. So get your accounts ready, prepare for buying altcoins, right? If you haven't already started to allocate, now is probably a great time to at least dollar cost average into some altcoins. In today's show, we'll talk about, should you be buying into the hype? Should you be chasing the pumps? Should you be waiting for pullbacks? What exactly should you do? Well, first things first, have your exchange accounts ready. There is an initiative right now with CoinW, one of our partners. They're giving you an opportunity, right, to claim pretty much a sign-up bonus of up to $50,000 and 50 million 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬. Use the link in the description below. If you go through down here to CoinW, there it is. Use that link. All you have to do is sign up, make your first deposit of $100, start trading, and they will immediately give you your reward. Everything is listed below. You're getting a 5% rebate on top of anything that you sign up to, and then you enter it into this pool over here exclusively using my link below, where you can get up to that $50,000 share or 50 million 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬 coins. You have 15 days left to participate in that. Now, other big news, we're seeing the DXY starting to break down, the dollar index losing this zone over here, and this is what I labeled the acceleration zone. As soon as we start to break below this line over here, I've called that the acceleration zone, because this is where I expect that the DXY will start to drop like a stone in water, right? It should start to come down really, really quickly, and we've been planning for this for literally months now. As soon as this starts to drop like a stone, this is where you'll see liquidity flow back into the markets, and it's just so interesting how it all lines up when you do see the M2 money supply increasing, when you do see People's Bank of China stimulating, and all the central banks are pushing everything towards the upside over here. That's where that flow of money comes in. Exchange volumes will increase, retail will come back, and that's where you get the perfect storm for crypto to begin to rally. So we've already seen it, right? We've seen it within the Nasdaq, the S&P 500 futures, Dow Jones, and gold all pumping towards the upside, and crypto is still lackluster, pretty much trading somewhere down here, and we're still waiting for crypto to catch up to the rest of the leading markets worldwide. So expect that should come very, very soon. The reason why crypto typically runs last is because it's considered to be the most risky, right? People always flee to safety first, which is why gold tends to lead the moves over here, like you're seeing over here by the orange line, or the I guess we can call it the gold line. The gold line goes up first, and then after that you see the stock markets, and then crypto, which is down here, tends to follow on. So yesterday I spoke about that mean reversion trade where you'll see crypto catch up, and then we'll actually expect an overextension from crypto, where crypto will, in the most extreme risk on environment, completely outperform all of these various different asset classes. So watch for something like that. You still have S&P 500 trading at all-time highs, Nasdaq slightly lagging, Dow Jones all-time highs prices we've ever seen, and then we have Coinbase still lagging, which means there is still opportunity because people are still uncertain, and that's why you have the fear and greed sitting somewhere around there in the middle, still in neutral territory due to the uncertainty in the market. They look for certainty, and the reality is that when everybody feels certain that prices are going to go in a particular direction, that's actually where you should be most cautious, right? Find at least your feelings and your emotions tell you this is the best time to be getting in, when everyone feels that it's the best time to be getting in. But the reality is that that's probably the worst time to be getting in, and that's the time where you should be going risk off. Now, when people are still confused, is an opportune moment to still establish positions within the market. Okay, so we're looking at Bitcoin to break out of this zone over here. This is a major cup and handle coming off low volatility. We're still waiting to flip this key level. Once we start to flip this $68,000 to $69,000 level into support, this is prior resistance, flipped into support. Expect that price is going to move up very, very, very quickly. We've spoken about that a whole lot, and you can see in alignment with the low volatility based on the Bollinger Band width percentile. These are the blue vertical lines running down the screen. When you see these blue vertical lines, you know that a big move is coming, right? This shows that it's like a spring that's loading up and you're squeezing it down, and as you release that spring, what happens? It moves in one direction and you get a huge move. Now you have agreement based on this trend line over here. This is your average true range, tightening. You can see the volume coming down over here, and that showcases that something big is about to take place. The good news is that the favor is starting to shift into the bulls court, because you have price now above the 21 exponential moving average, which is essentially a risk on signal. The 21 EMA is also angled towards the upside, and we in this massive bull flag, right? So we have a couple of levels of resistance left. Most likely by the end of this week, or at worst case, probably by the end of next week, you should see these levels taken out. Now, extreme euphoria and optimism is going to kick into the market as soon as you take out this level. There's going to be a flood of capital that comes back in, and prices are going to start to pump. So conservative traders, you're still waiting for at least a closing candle above the $65,050 level. This is where our price level has been marked off for quite some time, and the reason why is because that's where you create your first higher high, and that's where the breakout takes place. So all in all, it's looking good over here. 5-day time frame, Bitcoin has closed a high time frame candle back above all of those key moving averages, opened another candle above those key moving averages, and now we're looking for expansion to cross those back up, right? Remember, we want the yellow one above the green one, and we want both the yellow and the green back above the purple, which looks something like this. When you get that environment, this is where the big moves take place, right? This is the trending moves where you can simply just sit on your hands, hold on, sip on your coffee, and watch the show, right? That's all that you have to do. If you look at Ethereum's slightly lagging. We're still waiting for Ethereum to get above the 30 MA, which is the purple one over here, but it should catch up, right? It should catch up. This is historically what we see as you transition from Bitcoin season into altcoin season. ETH and Bitcoin jump back and forth between each other, and then eventually Ethereum completely outperforms Bitcoin. And this is why you know that it's still relatively early, because we have not yet seen that, right? That hasn't come. Also, bringing in some newfound optimism within the market, you will probably see that kicking in now that price is back above the 200 moving average. That's the blue one over here. It's flat at the moment, but expect this will start to angle towards the upside once you get multiple candle closes above. Right now we have one candle close above that level. We've opened the second candle. We're coming back to back test at our support, probably going to hold. Watch if you close the second and a third candle. If you close 3 candles above the blue 200 EM or 200 MA, that is a very, very powerful signal. A lot of traders look at things like that for those confirmations, and then you expect continuation onwards and upwards, and bulls can challenge this downsloping trend line, which I do think is coming sooner rather than not to break that structure, right? So it's all lined up timing wise. We've spoken about this. I mean, guys, go back on the prior videos. If you at least were watching all the prior videos and you got value from this, which I pretty much beat like a drum into your heads over time, that this is where we're going to see the markup phase, then please smash the like button. If you do appreciate that analysis, smash the like button. Now, looking forward, because we don't want to look at what has happened, we want to look at what's going to happen. This is the outlook, right? We're looking at a bull market continuing on all the way until this bar over here, 1,060 bars, right? From the cycle bottom to the cycle top, give or take. Now, it all depends on how fast we move into that area, right? Because if things start to go full vertical from here, well, then we're going to have to change our trajectory for how long this bull run would last. And then it may actually be a left translated cycle. Left translated cycle just means that it finishes closer to the left as opposed to the right? It's a quicker cycle. Right translated cycle, which is what I'm betting on, is a longer cycle, which means that we should have a more sustainable rally, right? High highs, high lows, but not too aggressive. And then slowly we climb up to this point in time, which is going to be around October 2025. That still remains the predominant plan. So let's continue to observe this chart. Let's watch this chart. Here's your 4-hour time frame. This is what I said to you. Any pullbacks that occur over here, watch for the test back into the 50 EMA. If it is truly the start of a strong trending move, the 200 EMA, the 50 EMA presents a wonderful opportunity to reload long positions looking for high prices. So that's on BTC. On ETH, you can see over here, just let that load up quickly. There it is. You're getting your golden cross finally between the 50 and 200 EMA. The reds crossed above the blue, and any pullbacks that come into this region over here, which is going to be around $2,500, maybe down as low as basically 2,516 to 2,550. That becomes your buy the dip opportunity. Looking for the high lows, watch that zone very, very carefully. Liquidity equally stacked on both the top and the downside, expecting a little bit more of a ranging chopping market in the short term, and we're still waiting for the breakdown of Bitcoin dominance and the breakout of ETH BTC. However, if you look over here at the total 3 market cap, this is referring to the altcoin sector. What you can see over here is it's starting to push that upper boundary pretty aggressively right now, and there may be a big breakout that comes. Now, because of how many people would have been shaken out of the market in this downtrend, as soon as this breaks, they're probably going to FOMO back in and start chasing price, which would lead to a big candle towards the upside. So watch for something like that. At the end of the day, timing-wise, it's still all exactly the same in alignment with what we've looked at before, expecting that this is going to last from the halving, which is the yellow line, to the end of the cycle for the total 3 is going to be 547 days, which is where you make massive profits, right? Huge profits in that type of environment. So at the moment, our spot bags are fully loaded and packed in Wellroom. I've dropped my portfolio, the full portfolio of what I'm holding for the rest of the cycle for pretty much, let's quickly measure out, it should be 12 more months. So for the next 56 bars, just over the next 12 months, next 365-ish days, I pretty much have it right here, literally on a calendar. What I'm holding for the next 377 days has been dropped into Wellroom, which means what are we going to do now? Are we just not going to take another trade? Of course not. Of course, we're going to continue to trade. We're going to continue to help those of you who have only joined the market now, and those who are still going to come. We'll find new opportunities for you, but new capital that comes into the market, we're most likely going to use for these short-term trades, which is our bread and butter, right? This is ultimately our bread and butter. All of this is dropped in Wellroom. Here you have it from Josh the Navigator, one of our traders over there, taking this beautiful trade on Popcat, already 75% out. Look at that, 205%, and then closed 75% out for 281% profit. We have plenty of traders in there, right? We also have Farouk over here, the scalper, scalper Farouk. Look at that beautiful trade over here on ENA, 300% up. These are the types of trades that we're going to be looking for. So for those of you who have been messaging me and asking me, how do you get into Wellroom, and is it worth it? Are you going to get day-to-day trades now that the spot bags are packed? Of course, guys, these are the day-to-day trades. Remember, the link is in the description for Wellroom over here. Literally, just click that link and join in. We'll guide you along the way. We have another trader as well, Cryptocurrencies, huge profits over here. This is just reviewing some of the trades this week. Render up, Pendle up. Literally, as you go on near GALA, WIF, we got Myro, the meme coin sector. We show our losses as well. BTC, a hedge short, took a small loss. Remember, we are hedging as well. So all of it's in there. Make sure that you jump in. My section over here is labeled Captain's Take. All right, with that being said, let's have a look at some of the gaming sector, right? Why? Well, it started to pick up a little bit of narrative. Gaming, meta, NFTs. Let's look at that sector. Is there going to be a comeback? And should you be buying? Should you be jumping into these positions now? Now, I've already gone through the entire list. Following prolonged periods of price suppression, you can get these massive squeezes towards the upside. So my theory around these is I'm interested, but more than likely it's just going to be shorter term swing trades where I would rotate those profits into other things that have just been better looking price charts with more sustainable price action of high highs and high lows, better prior ranges, as opposed to, coins that have been completely obliterated. One that we can look at over here is GALA, right? So I know it's all very, very exciting when GALA goes up, from here to here, doing a 35% move. But what you have to consider is that this is where GALA came from, right? This is just unbelievable. 98, 99% down. So when you zoom out, that's what the chart still looks like. So I would say don't get too caught up in the hype. Utilize the opportunity to swing trade, to find short-term trades. It would look like this. You can see range low, range low, range low over there, deviating back inside. This could open up the possibility to trade it back towards the top side, which is where GALA has failed each and every single time, right? Big move up over there. 160, 170%. You can double your money just with spot alone. You don't even have to take leverage. That's an example over there. We got ApeCoin. We identified this a while ago already. Breaking out of the falling wedge formation over here, your targets on something like ApeCoin then is going to take you into these levels, right? So that 140 is one area of interest. And then after that, if it can play out the full TP on the falling wedge, that will take you up to $2. So these could present big moves, but you have to understand that a lot of people are going to be wanting to exit, right? People that were trying to accumulate down here. And you have to think of the psychology, right? If they were trying to accumulate ApeCoin down here and pretty much they had a big move up, right? It took 161 days. Think of the timing factor. And then 187 days, which is more than half a year, they're back to the same place, right? Back to break even. And then you fast forward a little bit further, 252 days, almost a year, closing in on a year. They're back to break even. And then fast forward to pretty much the 1 year mark and they're at a loss. What is their psychology? Their psychology is that as they come back to break even, they're like, screw it. I waited a whole year thinking I bought the exact bottom. And now I'm back to break even once again. I'm taking my money and I'm moving into something else. That's what you have to be careful of when it comes to some of these gaming coins. Now, there's nothing wrong with longing relative strength, right? And some of the ones that have relative strength is going to be prime, right? So we went through this with 𝗲𝗚𝗕𝗓 yesterday. This is your TP targets, the 1.618 fib extension. You can see already some of the profit taking coming in over there. The next section is going to be the underside resistance over here at $13.85. Now the pullback that comes from this, so as this pushes up over here, the next pullback that sets in the high low probably comes all the way back down to your range breakout level. That's where you can test what this thing's made of to see, is it going to hold those support? And if it does, at that $8.89 region, that's going to be the opportunity where you can buy the ones with relative strength. So the ones with relative strength is prime. That's one of them. The other one with relative strength is super, right? There it is, super. We got Elio's super farm over here. I don't know what it's been rebranded to, but it was super farm. You hit the range lows. We spoke about this. I actually covered this also in one of the sessions. And I said over here, you know, you have a massive range that you can trade. You could short this to the bottom of the range, gives you a 56% percentage move from top to bottom. And then you could long it back to the top. That's 127%. This one's already approaching the top end. Watch for the deviation. You don't want to get caught with that if it does happen. Look, I don't think it comes all the way back down to the bottom of the range because I think the market is shifting. What I think would happen is you'll come somewhere into mid-range. So you might do this, come somewhere into mid-range. You'll form a higher low and then off it goes. Let me just have a sip of water, guys. I am a little bit sick here. But still bringing you crypto love and wisdom each and every single day. So that's what we're looking at over there. If you do want to learn more about crypto, guys, remember we have Whale School. Have a look at this video over here.
This is how you literally beat 99% of the market. One of the biggest aha moments for me when it came to trading. If you look at this, it becomes exponentially harder and almost impossible for you to win your money back if you lose too much money. If you lose 50%, how much do you need? You now need 100% profitable trade to get back just to break even, right? And as this goes further and further down, it becomes more and more impossible, right? So you want to cap the losses somewhere within this region over here. If you lose 5%, it's only 5.3 to get back.
So that's it, guys. I'm going to cut it over there. My throat is killing me, but use the link below, sign up over there, and I will catch you all on the next one. Cheers for now.